Did you know that while the Hamptons have been the playground of New York's elite for decades, there's a corner at the very edge, past the glitz, past the manicured lawns, that tells a different story? A story of fishermen, surfers, artists, and drifters. A story of a town that never fully traded in its soul for status. This is Montauk, and if you think it's just another Hampton, you're about to be surprised. In this video, we're diving deep inside Montauk. The beaches, the bars, the hidden coves, the weathered motels, and why it still feels like the bohemian cousin of the Hamptons. Stick around to the end, because there's a side of Montauk most visitors never even see. And it might just be the reason you fall in love with it too. Let's get into it. First, the geography. Montauk sits at the very tip of Long Island's South Fork, past East Hampton, past Amagansett, past where the black SUVs and summer shares start to thin out. Locals like to say, end of the world, beginning of nowhere. And honestly, that's part of the magic. Because while the other Hamptons towns polished up their storefronts, opened flagship boutiques, and fenced off their beaches, Montauk stayed different. Fishing boats still rumble out of the harbor before dawn. Dive bars still outnumber designer stores. And even though celebrities slip in for long weekends, Montauk somehow refuses to lose its working-class roots. It's not curated, it's not pristine, it's real. And that spirit? It shapes everything you see and feel here. Let's start with the beaches. Yes, there are plenty of beaches in the Hamptons, but Montauk's are different. They feel wilder, bigger, rawer. Ditch Plains is the heart of it all. A wide golden strip backed by low dunes and sea-weathered cliffs. It's a place where surfers carve through heavy Atlantic waves, salty dogs nap in the backs of rusted-out jeeps, and beach fires smolder long after sunset. You don't need a membership. You don't need a reservation. You just need to show up. Sandy, barefoot, maybe a little reckless. The waves are serious, some of the best on the East Coast, but the vibe is forgiving. Beginners stumble alongside old-timers who've been riding these breaks since the 70s. And if you're not surfing, no one cares. Grab a coffee and a breakfast burrito from the shack parked by the dunes. Watch the long lines of swells roll in. Let the rhythm of the ocean slow you down. Because in Montauk, the beach isn't a backdrop for posing. It's a living, breathing part of the town. Once you're salt-streaked and sunburned, the town itself pulls you in. Montauk's Main Street is small, endearingly scruffy, a scattering of motels, bait shops, ice cream stands, and surf stores that look like they've survived more hurricanes than you can count. There's no designer shopping district here, no velvet ropes, no sidewalk cafes filled with paparazzi. Just places like the Montauk, a weathered old bar perched high on a bluff, where locals and visitors gather with plastic cups of rum punch to watch the sun drop into the ocean. If you know, you know. At night, Montauk hums in its own key. Forget velvet ropes and velvet jackets. Forget velvet anything. Here, nightlife is found in weathered taverns like Liar's Saloon, where fishermen swap stories under sagging strings of Christmas lights, and surfboards hang from the ceiling like trophies. Or at the Surf Lodge, where a barefoot crowd spills from the patio into the sand, dancing to live indie bands with salt still drying in their hair. It's messy, it's joyful, it's Montauk. But if you think Montauk is just about bars and beaches, you're only seeing half of it. Because just beyond the surfboards and seafood shacks lies some of the most beautiful and unexpected nature on Long Island. Hither Hills State Park is a 1,755-acre sprawl of rolling dunes, coastal thickets, and hidden trails that snake through scrub oak and wild beach plum. It's the kind of place where you can hike for hours and not see another soul, just the steady arc of seagulls overhead and the constant murmur of the surf beyond the hills. In the early mornings, mist hangs low over the meadows. In the evenings, the sunsets set the dunes ablaze in gold. Further east, Shadmore State Park offers dramatic cliffside trails that feel almost cinematic. Windswept, wide open, and impossibly beautiful. Standing there, looking out at the churning Atlantic, You get a sense of the rawness that shaped this town long before hashtags or travel guides ever arrived. And at the literal end of the road? The Montauk Point Lighthouse. Commissioned by George Washington himself in 1792, it stands sentinel at the very tip of the island, where two oceans seem to crash into each other, endless and wild. Walk out over the boulders, feel the spray on your face, listen to the gulls wheel overhead. It's a place that feels old in your bones, like you're standing on the edge of something much older and bigger than yourself. And once you've stood there, felt the Atlantic roaring around you, Montauk never really leaves you. But Montauk isn't just a place of ocean and wilderness. It's also a place of stories. Back in the 60s and 70s, it was a refuge for artists and misfits, a place where Andy Warhol hosted wild weekends, where Peter Beard photographed elephants and surf bums, where musicians escaped the city to find something raw and real. There are still whispers of that spirit here. In the tiny art galleries tucked into old barns, in the hand-painted signs for vintage surf contests, in the murals on the sides of crumbling motels. You'll feel it if you pay attention. That undercurrent of creativity, freedom, and refusal to play by someone else's rules. Even today, Montauk attracts a different kind of crowd. Yes, there are luxury hotels now. Yes, the prices have crept up. But if you scratch the surface, you'll still find the soul. It's in the surf instructors who've been teaching kids on ditch plains since before Instagram existed. It's in the bartenders who can tell you the tide chart before they tell you the drink specials. It's in the sunburned locals stringing lobster traps down at Gosman's Dock. Montauk hasn't forgotten who it is, and that's why it still feels alive. So what's the best way to experience Montauk? Don't schedule too much. Stay at an old motel with a screen door that bangs in the breeze. Eat a lobster roll while sitting on the hood of your car. Surf if you can. Laugh if you can't. Dance barefoot at a dive bar. Sleep late, then wake up early just to see the sunrise off the lighthouse. And most importantly, let Montauk be messy. Let it be beautiful. Let it be real. Because Montauk isn't here to impress you. It's here to remind you who you are when no one's looking. It's the bohemian cousin of the Hamptons, scrappy, soulful, stubborn, and a little wild around the edges. And once you've felt it, you'll never really get it out of your system. If this gave you a different view of Montauk, or just made you want to chase some sunsets and salt air, hit like, subscribe, and check the description for our full Montauk guide. Best beaches, surf spots, local hikes, where to stay, and how to experience the town without losing its spirit. And let us know in the comments, what's your favorite edge of the world town? Because sometimes the best places aren't the ones that change you. They're the ones that bring you back to yourself. We'll see you out there.